Alright guys, welcome back to part 4, technically 5. There will be no part 4, it was combined with part 3. We're going to go right to part 5 because otherwise I'm going to be confused as hell with these battles. Anyway, this is I'm No Worries, and this is Battle 5. This is what it looks like. This does look like hell. I do apologize. As I've said before, none of these are to scale because these are squished together screenshots, and we're going to just do the best we can. And I know it doesn't look particularly good. This one looks particularly bad because of how much I've had to zoom in. Like if I zoom out, I can clear it up, but then like everything's the size of an ant. So we're just gonna have to make do with what we can. So briefly to recap what happened to us last time. We got up to Eel, we got a new dude named Kazin, who's actually going to be really important, and then Bowie died, we got captured, brought to prison, a dude named Slade brought us out of jail. Along the way we should have grabbed a mithril that was located in the tunnel, and now we're here. This is the first battle where there's a leader, indicated by the little yellow box. The Golem Knight is the leader. When he dies, everything dies. This is something that we're obviously going to take an advantage of. But to talk about the battle. So like I've said before, Kazin joins level 4, Jaha should be at least level 4, hopefully level 5, Bowie, like I said, 4, 5, somewhere in that ballpark. Sarah and Chester don't matter. So, what's the general game plan? Well, here's the general game plan. This red square, so right here, so with this wall, this spot right here, this is where we want to move somebody because this is where the knight can move to. So the red is for the knight. The orange is for the mage. The mage can move one spot next to it. So like you can see here, this is where we want to end up. Because this mage will end up right here. The knight can make it all the way down to here and attack into this square. That's the plan. This is where we want to end up. Well, we got these three guys in our way. So what is the general game plan from here? This is where things can get really tricky because until we get a couple more levels, the turn orders are going to be completely bonkers. But generally speaking, Kazin will go before this archer. If we move Kazin right here next to Sarah, none of these soldiers can make it, but this archer can make it to attack Kazin. Assuming the archer does not double attack, this pulls the archer up and over for us to attack. This is a little bit difficult, because like I said, turn orders are a little wonky, but I'll try to do this the best that I can. So like, with right here, with this setup, we'll go ahead and use blue here. All the rest of these spots, so like, this is a threatened square. With the soldier, I don't believe he can make it here. I believe it's like here and here. So like these are all threatened squares. So like there's a couple spaces here. This soldier can make it up to here. This spot is actually where both of the soldiers can make it. So like this is important to know because at level 4 Bowie dies in 3 hits. At level 5 he dies in 4 hits. So like we need to know and gauge that. At level 6 Jaha becomes pretty much indestructible, not taking any damage. Kazin is just going to be really fragile and vulnerable. So let's talk about the game plan. So this is the start, this is the end. What's going to happen in the middle? We need Kazin to get to Blaze 2. The Golem Knight has 16 health and is pretty bulky. But if Kazin knows Blaze 2, it'll do at a minimum 8 points of damage to him, meaning that Bowie and Jaha will be able to attack and finish off the knight, doing the 8 damage. But it does have a chance to do 10 damage, meaning that Jaha could do 6 damage and kill the knight. Bowie will not do 6 damage at this stage of the game. So we need Kazin to get up to level 5. That means he needs 2 kills and to wound somebody. I recommend having him try to kill the soldiers. So like, Kazin's going to move over like so. This archer is going to move over like so and attack Kazin. Sarah will heal Kazin. Now, depending on if these soldiers have moved, now both of these guys will, creep forward, but generally speaking, we will go before them. is how we're going to move the rest of our guys. So like if we go before the soldiers, but after the archer, I'd recommend putting Bowie here and just kind of putting Jaha out there to try to draw. This is actually a pretty ideal spot for Jaha because it will draw both the soldiers over to him. He doesn't take nearly as much damage. This is a safe spot. Bowie, on the other hand, dies very quickly. We need to be careful with him. So like this is assuming we go before the soldiers. Now assuming that we have moved after the soldiers, so they've just kind of creeped forward a little bit, then you probably want to put Bowie to the north side of this archer. Similarly, you put Jaha could go here, but then Chester you're going to want to put to help block off Bowie. We don't want both soldiers and the archer to be able to attack him because he will go down. So this is kind of our setup if we go after the soldiers, which is way less than ideal. This is our setup if we go before the soldiers. So that we're going to take these guys out. I'm just going to move them up here because I may need them for later. Like I said, Kazan has enough magic to cast several blazes. He does in fact have enough magic to cast 3 blaze 1s and a blaze 2. And like I said, that's what our goal is. We want him to get up to blaze 2. Kazan is actually someone we're going to want to use all the way through the run. So he is a little bit of a priority. So this mage can move to this spot. This is the maximum for this. These guys, so okay, let's talk some more about some more familiar lingo. All these fools are linked together through a zone, not the mage. See, so hopefully I left that mage out there for a reason. This archer will move if it can attack, but both of these guys are linked to this knight. So if this knight moves, both of these guys are going to move. Otherwise, they're not going to move. This archer will move if he can attack. So like the game plan here, we're going to move down. This mage will move out to here, so using either Chester or Jaha. Now if you have Chester, I recommend keeping him one space away so that the mage will only cast Blaze. Because if the mage attacks, he could kill Chester. And this matters for several reasons, but in all cases, you want to try to keep Chester alive through this battle because it really helps for the start of the next battle. If you have Jaha, you might as well go ahead and put him down here because if the mage attacks, it'll probably do less damage. But then we're moving up, we're moving over, setting up. Now Blaze 1 deals 5 damage to the mage. Blaze 1 will do 6 damage to just about anything else. So it's important to know that against the mage, it will only do 5 damage. But in any event, you need Kazan to go up a level by this point. So we've had 4 enemies. He needs to kill 2 of them and wound a third. He could kill a third. That's fine too. But like regardless, he needs that experience. He needs to go up to level 5. Because in our setup, so like if we move Jaha here, the mage comes over to attack Jaha. On Jaha's turn, he moves into this square to attack the mage. You see why? Well, because you see he just moved into the threatened square. This knight can come down and attack Jaha. These guys will move. They're not going to be able to join the battle in the time that we can swarm the knight, take him out, and end the battle. There's not much to be said. This is one of the trickier battles because until we get our levels, we're in a lot of trouble. So we need our levels, but outside that, it's just not that tough of a fight. And if we just remember, what's our game plan? Always go back to the game plan. Always remember the goal. These are the important squares. Kazan goes here. Archer goes there. This can then bring the soldiers around to here. But our main goal, put this mage in this spot, put someone like Jaha into this spot. This brings the leader down so that we can kill him. This has been Battle 5. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys back for Part 6.